When you think of hero, you probably don't think of the same thing I think of. Because I think of a movie and game reviewer when I think of a fucking hero. Because that is one of the bravest things you can do on the internet, is giving your opinion of a movie or game and review it. Like, that is a recipe for disaster, because no matter what you do, you lose. If you give a review that's less than perfect, the people that love that product are gonna fuck you in the ass. They're gonna spread your asshole real wide. If you say you like something that other people didn't like, your asshole's getting blasted again by that crowd. Because people are professional fans of products and full-time warriors going to battle for the things that they liked or things they didn't like, attacking people that liked things that they didn't. So no matter what you do, your asshole's getting dilated. That being said, I am constantly blown away by some of the dog shit movie and game reviews that I see pop up. Now, again, I understand that movie and game reviewers get more shit than a gas station toilet, but god damn it, sometimes these reviews just hurt to read and are just genuinely insulting to people that are literate. It's absolute trash. Today, Kotaku, one of the biggest culprits of the worst journalism on the internet, released yet another hugely dog shit diarrhea diaper of an article, this one about the PlayStation 5. Now, the whole review itself isn't the worst thing I've ever read in my life, but there's one part in particular of the review that is the worst thing I've ever read in my life. It makes my immortal fan fiction look incredible in comparison. It's just, I'll show you. So in the middle of their PlayStation 5 review, the reviewer goes on to say, "But I'd be remiss to ignore all the reasons not to be excited for the PlayStation 5. The world is still reeling under the weight of the COVID-19 pandemic. There are more Americans out of work right now than at any point in the country's history, with no relief in sight. Our healthcare system is an inherently evil institution that forces people to ration life-saving medication like insulin and choose suicide over suffering with untreated mental illness." What the fuck does any of this have to do with anything regarding the PlayStation 5? Were they expecting readers just to get to this point and be like, wow, I was really excited for the PlayStation 5 until this asshole reminded me there's bad things in the world. Now I don't want a PlayStation 5. They continue. "As I'm writing this, it looks very likely that Joe Biden will be our next president, but it's clear that the worst people aren't going away just because a new old white man is sitting behind the resolute desk. Well, at least not this old white man. Our government is fundamentally broken in a way that necessitates radical change rather than incremental electoralism." Right, this is all the stuff I wanted to be reading about when it came to getting information about how the PlayStation 5 is. This is exactly what I was hoping for, so great work here, Kotaku. "The harsh truth is that, for the reasons listed above and more, a lot of people simply won't be able to buy a PlayStation 5, regardless of supply, or if they can, concerns over increasing austerity in the United States and growing threat of widespread political violence supersede any enthusiasm about a console's SSD or how ray tracing makes reflections more realistic. That's not to say you can't be excited for those things. I certainly am, on some level. But there's an irrefutable level of privilege attached to the ability to simply tune out the world as it burns around you." This is basically like going into a restaurant and reminding everyone that there's people starving in the world, and then getting a seat at that restaurant. This genuinely gives me no hope for the future of games journalism, and I actually think it should be a crime to even be a games journalist past this review. It is so bad. Kotaku is like a septic tank. You know exactly what you're getting when you look inside of it, but you're still constantly disgusted. This is like the millionth awful article they've made. Anyone remember like a year or two ago when the Joker DLC for Smash Bros. Came out and Kotaku made that article calling into question Nintendo's ethics because they thought they heard the word retarded in the background music? They just misheard a lyric and started throwing shit at Nintendo for their inability to listen. You remember that? Who is still reading this garbage? I don't get it. 50 Shades of Grey has better writing than Kotaku. This is just so awful and weird. So the thing here is, don't be excited about PlayStation 5 because there's bad things going on in the world. Well, for a lot of people, a console like the PlayStation 5 is a form of escapism, and those things that this guy lists here are things they want to escape from. That's a good thing. For just a little while, just enjoy yourself. Turn yourself off from all the terrible things going on in the world. And he makes it seem like it's a bad thing. Not everyone needs to be 100% miserable all the time like this guy, who then in the next paragraph goes on to talk about how he spends hours lying awake at night in his bed, scrolling through terrible news just to stay mad. Not everyone wants to do that. This is a reason to be excited. There's bad things in the world, yes, and now there is the PlayStation 5 where, for maybe an hour or two a day, you can just enjoy yourself and just kind of push that aside for at least a little while and have some fun, which I think is important. Games journalism is so fucking weird these days. You have like reviewers that can't separate reality from fiction, where they're talking about how they're afraid players are going to go on a real world murderous rampage because they ran over 3 fire hydrants in Grand Theft Auto 5. And you'll have other game reviewers talking about how they're now suffering from PTSD because they watched Crash Bandicoot die once during their Crash 4 playthrough. Then you'll read a review from Polygon on Cuphead talking about how the reviewer can no longer sleep at night because they're just playing through these flashbacks of all the cartoon characters they killed on their journey to the end screen of Cuphead and give it a bad score for it. It's so weird. There's so many reviewers that can't separate reality from fiction, video games from the real world. And then on the other end of that spectrum, there's people like this guy who are so hyper indulged in reality that they will not allow themselves to enjoy anything. Until the world is a complete utopia with no problems at all and free ice cream delivered to the Kotaku offices every Tuesday, this guy will not focus on anything besides the bad shit in the world. He feels guilty if he starts to enjoy something because of everything bad going on in the world. That's how it comes across. He can't even, for one review, focus on what was actually being reviewed, the PlayStation 5. He goes off on this long tangent reminding everyone that the world's not in great shape at the moment. Why? What is the fucking point? This whole review is like asking your friend their opinion on something and they just start talking about shit totally unrelated to the question. Hey man, how was that new Harry Potter movie? I know you just saw it. What did you think? Well, Charlie, as you know, I was recently laid off this week, and things have just been kind of hard recently. I've been finding myself crying a lot at night, and, it doesn't help that my girlfriend was recently cheating on me, and I found out, but that's really not even the worst part, Charlie. The worst part is she was cheating on me with my own father, the man who gave birth to me. The ultimate form of betrayal, Charlie, so it hasn't been a great week for me. It's been rough. Oh, okay, well, yeah, that's all, like, bad shit, but how was the movie? The thing I actually asked about. It's just a stupid fucking review. I don't understand what is going on with the state of gaming journalism. It's terrible. And yeah, that's really about it. Just wanted to rant about that. That's it. See ya.